Hi, everybody. How's
Everybody
everybody doing?
tuning in to watch me eat my shoe.
Yeah, I I don't know. I don't know. There's no way.
It's got cats on it.
Nope. Oh Lord. So
I can't see it. Like you were saying, I can't see him staying in. And we were we were just talking about he just got sworn in Monday. It was just a week ago that he said it was rigged 3 times in that rally speech, and it
three
feels like
times,
he's been in forever.
3 times, and then go back to June and July of last year when he was already telling you what he was going to do.
Yeah,
He's been
he didn't need you to.
broadcasting it since last year, and then you know now he thinks he's just, yeah, okay, yeah, I stole it, we rigged it. Elon knows a lot about those vote counting computers, so
And I'll be the president during the Olympics because we rigged the election. He said it
mhm,
twice.
mhm, mhm. So anything, Jen?
To schedule a reading with Jen Lin, go to jenlintarot.com. And also, that's where you can register for the Healing Energy Seminar in Portland, Oregon. You do not need to sign up for the waiting list. If you scroll down and give it a second to load, the seminar is open. You can actually book the seminar. You don't have to join the waiting list. The waiting list is for later after it sells out. Oh, I hear Braxy in the background. She was
Yeah,
sitting with
she's
some
she's
beats on her play date.
she's screaming. She's screaming, all right. Let me see here. I don't know what she's screaming about. I took her to the beach yesterday. You hear her?
Yes. What, sweetheart? You just
What are
wanted
you
to be
crying
on
about?
camera.
What are you crying about?
I just wanted to be a camera hog.
Everybody wants to see your pretty little face. Look at the Braxy. Look at the Braxy. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so took her to the beach yesterday. She was out there. You hear her? Having a fun time with her friends. But
And she's
I
not
think
afraid of water anymore either.
I think she's wanting dinner. I think that's what she's. Do you want din din? Yeah. Wait, hold on. Let me see. You want din din? You want din din? Good girl. You want din din? Yeah. Go tell
Now,
daddy.
there you go, live before feeding me.
Go tell daddy to give you your burger and your din din. Go tell him.
Oh, I want mommy to serve me.
She's such a brat. Peanut. Okay.
For the new subscribers, Peanut is Becca's husband.
Yeah. Yeah, go get daddy. Go get din din. Good girl. So yeah, so the Braxy. Yep. So I have an announcement. Do not come on my channel in my comment section or on my community page and excuse Muscatina's blatant Hail Hitler salute as mental illness, as autism, as he didn't mean it. You will be blocked immediately. Immediately. End of. So there's that. I've already had one person I've blocked who was trying to say, he did that because he has a mental illness. That's totally whitewashing at best and ignoring at worst his entire origin story. His grandfather left Canada seeking apartheid because he was a Nazi sympathizer.
Wait, are you talking Elon or Trump? You're talking Elon, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
His mother is pro-apartheid. He has been promoting fascism across the globe. Just the other day, he was with the far right German party, the AfD, promoting that shit. You know, the ADL the ADL themselves said, no, it wasn't what you thought it was. 3 days later, he goes on Twitter and starts posting all sorts of anti-Semitic shit. And the ADL had to eat their own words and apologize and say, yeah.
His father went on and said that it's on his mother's side that they're all a bunch of Nazis.
That's what I'm saying. His grandfather on his mother's side was a Nazi sympathizer who left Canada in search of apartheid. That's how they ended up in South Africa. His mother is pro-apartheid. He is pro-apartheid. This is not a mental health issue. The guy is a fucking racist Nazi.
That's right. I know several people with autism that are not Nazis.
You know, I mean, I have family members that are autistic that would never. I have family members that have mental health illnesses that would never do what he did. He aligns perfectly with those views. So again, if I see you in the comments or in my live chat or in my community page, you're automatically blocked. I have zero tolerance for that shit. In this country, we hate Nazis. We hate
you Nazis throw in his drug use. I mean, did you see him at the inauguration where he's like glitching out like he's
mm-hmm. They were saying that was Calvin Klein. For those of you that don't know what Calvin Klein is, not the clothing store, it is when you take cocaine and ketamine, because ketamine can bring you down, so you take cocaine to bring you back up. So they're saying that he was on Calvin Klein. So, and also, if there's any question,
in other words, he's on a designer drug.
Go pick up this book. It's very, very short. Okay, my copy's old. It's kind of beat up and dog-eared and everything. It's only, let me see here, 198 pages. Go pick it up and get educated. Okay. I mean, this is just incredible that people are excusing that shit, you know, at best, and then defending it at worst, you know. So
thank you to the lady who commented, I hope your shoes are chocolate.
Yeah.
I would say the chocolate eating went up drastically this week, right, chat?
Mm-hmm. Another book that I would recommend is this one. This is Theoretical. I'm going to repeat that again. Theoretical. This book was written in 1997. I started reading it on my Kindle, and I'm going to go back and annotate it. They predicted back in 1997 the housing crash. They predicted 9/11. They predicted Russia trying to take over another country that was previously part of the Soviet Union. Okay, they predicted a lot of stuff. And the theory behind it is that American history is cyclical in 4 seasons. So spring, summer, fall, and winter. And they go roughly 20 years through every season. So it is a study on, I guess you can say, generation and generational cycles and how it impacts us here socially, and how, because of the social fabric, that impacts our politics and all that stuff. So it's written by William Strauss and Neil Howe. The Fourth Turning, again, theoretical. Okay. So this one's really interesting. I haven't even made it completely through chapter 1, but it's a good one. And if, for those of you that are pissed off at the media and don't understand why the media is not reporting, yes, Rose Blue, 80 years since World War II. We're due for another one. According to that, we're at the end of our crisis cycle, the winter season. Manufacturing Consent by Noam Chomsky. This one's a good one to read. See? The Political Economy of the Mass Media. This is a good one to read as well from Noam Chomsky to get a better understanding of why the media is the way it is. Because I guarantee you, I didn't know this. I did not know. I had no idea that there are countries across the globe, and that one on tyranny, that one's a good one too, across the globe that are currently, right now, protesting Donald Trump. I had no idea that was happening at all, because you won't see that shit on mainstream media. I think PBS covered a little bit of it, but that was about it. But if you're watching CNN or MSNBC or all that other, you have no idea what's going on across the globe. So there's that one.
Because the oxygen is out of the room again. He's sucking up all the media of what's happening here, and we're not seeing what's happening around the world.
And it's not just that, Jen. It's speculation. Their job is to keep the public informed. Corporate media has made it into a sensationalized fucking shit show where everything right now is Trump, 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 Trump. And that's it. You know,
it's just commentary now. It's not news, it's commentary, it's opinions.
You know. So any book by Noam Chomsky, Understanding Power, How the World Works, all of those are really good ones. Profit Over People by Noam Chomsky. You know, anything Mr. Noam Chomsky is brilliant. But yeah, give those books a go. And
learn to be discerning and take everything with a grain of salt. Like, who told you Elon had autism? You know, I haven't seen proof of that. I haven't seen a doctor saying he has autism.
I think I could be mistaken, but I think that the whole he has autism, I think that whole thing was he self-diagnosed. Okay, so, and I don't care if he has autism. You know, mental health is already stigmatized enough as it is. People that have bipolar disorder, people that have chronic depression, anxiety. I take medication for anxiety. You know, it's stigmatized enough. To then pile on top of that, oh, he only did that because he has mental health issues. Go fuck yourself. Because now you have all these people, now you're making it even worse. Now you're opening the window to say that all people with mental health issues have the potential to be like him. And that's not the truth. The truth of it is that Elon Musk has used his position as a person in the public sphere to continue to shift the Overton window. If you don't know what the Overton window is, go Google it. But that's exactly what he's doing. It's kind of like slowly boiling the frog, where it was unthinkable to ever see that happen here in America, behind the presidential seal of all places. He's telling you this is okay to do. Do you see what I'm saying? By shifting the Overton window, just getting people used to the idea that, no, this is the way it is. We're Nazis and just get over it, you know? So, and then Johnny got me onto this book here, and I had to get it. If you have a Kindle, the purchase of this book, you get the free audiobook on Audible. But it's called The Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler. And I believe that this was written 1993. Johnny turned me on to this book, and then I went and I looked it up on TikTok, and it's insane. She predicted in this book, which is a work of fiction. Okay. This is not theoretical. This is not, nonfiction. This is a work of fiction. But in this book, It's the same exact shit that we're going through right now. A candidate who was running on Make America Great, the rise of fascism, the oligarchs taking over the country, the dismantling of everything, so I haven't gotten to that one yet because I'm in the middle of like 3 other books, but exactly, George Orwell, 1984, work of fiction. The
Handmaid's
Handmaid's
Tale.
Tale was a
Yeah.
work of fiction. Animal Farm was a work of fiction. These people want to ban these books because I guess they're taking it as I don't know.
I'm gonna put I'm gonna put it down in a common way too. My dad was a masochistic, sadistic narcissist who was extremely abusive, rage abuse. He was undiagnosed, but it doesn't make it right. Would I ever speak positively about the man? No.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make it right.
So I'm going to read that one as soon as I'm done with my current read, which I'm at. Hold on.
It doesn't excuse his behavior towards his family.
Towards his own children. I'm 64% into the book that I'm reading right now. So as soon as I'm done with this one, I'm going to read Octavia Butler. And I have the audiobook too, so I can listen to it.
But, yeah. We're seeing reports now of a lot of retailers who are already throwing out the DEI hires, whether they're afraid of what Trump's signing, don't want him coming after them or not. But we vote with our dollars. And like I'm hearing very positive things like Costco is raising they're still supporting DEI hires.
Ben and Jerry's has been very vocal against this regime because let's call it what it is. It's not an administration. It is a regime. Okay, a fascist regime that's trying to take power. And what's scary is it took Hitler 53 days, 54 days to upend the government and turn it into a fascist regime. And we're only a week in so far.
I've worked for 40 years in retail with imports, working with factories overseas and importing product. And the whole reason everything went overseas is because Americans voted with their dollar. If they didn't want to pay $5 more for a set of sheets made here in the US, guess what? It got manufactured overseas where labor's cheaper. And, manufacturing just kept moving and kept moving. So we vote with our dollars. So if there's a company doing something you don't like, boycott them. Boycott them. It's hard to do. Trying to avoid Amazon. That's hard to do in today's age, right?
And here's another thing too. Prices are about to go through the roof, especially now that he's pissing on Colombia. Get your necessities now and stockpile stuff and cut back on spending. I've seen the No Shop Monday going around. I don't know how effective that strategy is going to be, but Barnes and Nobles is keeping their DEI in place. So I'm an avid reader. My Barnes and Nobles is less than a mile away. I practically live there, so I will continue to support them.
It's easy to boycott like clothing places. We can do without clothes. Come on, we all got a closet full of clothes. We don't have to go buy clothes all the time, right? The problem is the day-to-day, the groceries. So check out your grocers, see what they're doing. The problem is you may have to drive a little further to support somebody that's still, got some integrity.
Yep, and that depends too on where you live as far as groceries go. Like I'm in a group chat with Johnny and 2 of our other friends, Sterling and Nina, and Nina had sent a picture of how much the eggs were in her area, and it was like over $10, $12. Fortunately for me, we have a Winco less than a mile away. The 24 pack of eggs was $6. When I went to Winco last night, I bought an 18 pack of eggs and it was still $6. The 24 packs were 30 something dollars because, it made no sense because they had this one section with the 24 pack and all that stuff. And it was like $20, $30. But then you have the section right next to it for 18 eggs for $6. And I'm like, wait, I don't understand. They have all these signs about the bird flu and stuff. So why are you charging, $20, $30 for 24 when you can just come over on this side over here? Literally the freezer right next to it. $18. Now 18 eggs for $6. Now let me say there wasn't a lot of the $6 eggs, so I got us one, but it's
Yeah, the egg price is not because of tariffs or anything.
nope.
It's the bird flu.
Yep.
There's been a chocolate shortage for several years now, so chocolate prices went up because of that back during COVID.
Coffee's about to go through the roof with this pitching contest with Colombia, so I went and I stocked up on my coffee yesterday.
There's other coffee that comes from like Vietnam, Sumatra brand and stuff.
Mhm.
So I don't know if his tariff is going to apply to all coffee or just Colombian coffee, but it's hard. There's something like eggs. Back when they were less than $2 for a dozen, $1.59 or whatever, I'd buy a dozen. And I never used them all. Like they'd go bad. I never used them all before they expired, and now that they're $5 a dozen, I'm like, I don't need eggs. Like I just do without, or I'll buy a egg substitute something if I want to do a little baking with something that has eggs in it.
I bought eggs because we eat eggs on the weekends, and when I go to make my period food, brownies and stuff like that, kind of need eggs. You know what I mean? So it's just
And you have in the summertime, like
non-perishables, also.
Yeah,
and then
we have a
Canada's
lot of
talking
those
about
farmers markets in the summer, so I'll be supporting those farmers markets even more in the summer. The locals.
that's another thing that's about to hit. All those farms are about to. There's going to be a food shortage, depending on how long this lasts. Because I said he wouldn't get in. He got in.
I said it too.
All right.
We own it.
Yeah.
Sorry to get your hopes up. We said prepare for the worst, but I don't think he's getting in.
Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. Exactly. Jenny and I were going over some of his tableaus, which we might do tonight as well. But what he is doing right now is not sustainable. Let me repeat that. What he is doing right now is not sustainable. If he starts fucking with Canada and Canada turns off the power, you're fucked. The Republicans are already pissed off about him releasing the January 6th rioters. They were reporting on PBS that there's 20 House Republicans that are willing to impeach him and 30 in the Senate, based on what PBS said. And that's just yet, for him releasing the prisoners. That's just that.
And yet they still supported him and voted Pete Hegseth in. Come on. Because there's nothing but criminals in that White House. So I'll believe it when I see it, if they impeach him. But
I didn't see impeachment in any of his grand tableaus. I saw more indictments. Bakersfield, the Central Valley. You know what? I don't know, dude. I don't know. Out of all the places, I mean, I understand Kern County and the Central Valley here in California is full of brain dead red hatters. Just like the cops, Jen, just like the cops, that union of police officers that endorsed him and then were pissed off when he released the rioters. It's like he told you he was going to do this. Repeatedly, they told you. Repeatedly. And you voted for him anyways, thinking that it was just a joke.
Judge Berman Jackson coming out and attacking him for doing that, I was like, bravo, bravo. Somebody speaking up, truth to power. And that bishop,
Oh yeah.
in the prayer service, that was like, we're all going to have to confront him face to face and keep confronting the Republicans. Like, are you supporting him releasing all these prisoners? One of them's already rearrested. So they're criminals.
And here's the thing, Donald Trump showed up over here, I think it was Friday, to try to do some bullshit here in California. And my governor, Gavin Newsom, was trying to get a meeting with him and they wouldn't let him talk to Trump. So you know what Newsom did? He showed up at the tarmac.
At the airport.
He showed up at the tarmac and he would not let Trump off the hook. You can see where Trump's doing that handshake where he's trying to pull him. And Newsom was like, And then when Trump tried to pull his hand away, Newsom was the one that pulled his.
Back.
And he had his fingers in his chest and everything. I'm like, that's how you do it. And then when he went and met with all the California lawmakers, I forget the guy's name, but there was one older gentleman in there that told him to his face, because Trump wants all these demands. I want voter ID laws and this, that, and the other thing. And this guy told him to his face, he's like, well, we contribute the most to all the red states. So if I don't like something that Louisiana is doing, I just don't pay him. Like he told him to his face, and Trump had nothing to say to that. Nothing, So it's like, you call him out to his face, because at the end of the day, he's nothing but a goddamn coward. That's all he is. He's a fucking coward. He'll run his mouth when the cameras are on him, but you put him toe to toe with a person and he'll go shrink in the corner.
He's sitting there falling asleep in church in the prayer service. I mean, the only reason he did that was for optics and photo opportunity or whatever. And for that bishop to very calmly and gracefully make the plea, and the whole Trump family squirming like, oh my God.
Did you see Tiffany Trump's face during that?
Melania's eyes get narrower and narrower and angrier. She is just sitting there just fuming.
Tiffany Trump had that look on her face like, is she talking about me?
Now he's attacking her. So now he's putting her life in danger, just like Fanun, the policeman. All these people, the son who reported his dad for being involved in January 6th, that got his dad convicted for like 12 years. His dad's out and he's now afraid for his life. His dad is now out. All these people are afraid for their lives. He's attacking Fauci. He's attacking so many people in the government.
And he's made a thinly veiled threat that he might go after Biden because Biden didn't pardon himself. So he's saying it's open season. Well, good luck with that, because thanks to you, Biden now has absolute presidential immunity.
He had immunity while he was in office. One-eyed Stewie Rhodes is out. But the cool thing is, too, though, is watching like his citizenship birthright that he tried to do away with immediately blocked by a federal judge. So I think we're going to see a few more things like that happening where he gets blocked immediately. And good luck. Take FEMA away. Well, hello, red states. You're the ones always needing FEMA.
And not just that, Jen, but everything else that he's done to cut us off from the WHO or anything. So if there's another pandemic, you better hope and pray that you figure out how to get sources outside of the United States, because that information is not going to exist here. We are not going to know if there's a pandemic or anything else going around right now, because it's that saying I keep going back to again, tapar el sol con un dedo, meaning trying to cover up the sun with one finger. Just because you don't acknowledge it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Just like when we saw COVID happen, it's a hoax, is a hoax, is a hoax. Meanwhile, we're seeing semi-trucks in New York City loaded with bodies to dump into a mass grave. So not even those people didn't even have the decency of having a proper burial. They were dumped into a mass grave because of that motherfucker. And now you're going to cut us off from all of it. So when something like this happens again, nobody's going to know. And just because you're saying that it doesn't exist does not make it true. I can say the sky is purple or green. That doesn't make it true. So
his trying to fire 17 inspector generals, and even Republicans came out and said, no, that's illegal. You can't do that, because they realized he's going to try to get rid of Congress. He doesn't need y'all. He's going to try to be dictator on day one. So they're starting to see, like, okay, he's not clearing anything through us. What are we here for, kind of thing.
So I am under the impression, so far from what I have seen, that the DOJ is still under Biden's DOJ because nobody has been confirmed or anything like that.
I think he's put an AG in yet, has he?
Hadn't
been confirmed. Now, he's going to put people in acting roles. So if they don't get approved, he'll put them in as acting. So watch for that. That's what he did in his first term.
Pete Hegseth is going to be a fucking disaster as Secretary of Defense. Even the piece of shit motherfucker that created all this stuff, Mitch McConnell, came out and voted against him. And it's like, I hope Mitch understands that the reason that we're in the situation that we're in right now is because of his fucking cowardice and his greed and his thirst for power. But I have questions though. I don't know if you wanted to look at this, GT. This is the one I just did recently. January 5th. Did you want to look at that, Jen?
Yeah, sure. You want to lay it out?
Yeah. What are you going to read on while I'm laying it out? Are you going to read on, like, how does Mitch feel about all this shit going down, or what?
Let's see. Where's Moscow Mitch at? If Mitch isn't going for re-election, I mean, he's glitching all the time, so he's in a final term. Think you create a vision. He's, everybody Trump threatens. It's like, well, get a spine. When people have been endorsed by Trump, a lot of times they've lost. So get a spine. Don't be afraid to speak up to that.
Wonder how Susan Collins feels. I'm sure he learned his lesson. Apparently he didn't, bitch. He never does. He never, ever does.
The major arcana coming out. Mitch, glad it's all about money to you. He's still got unfinished work that he thinks he'll be successful at, because Mitch is corrupt. And there's Russia, like he's got ties to Russia too, but he's got a lot of things he's trying to change, because now Trump is trying to manipulate everybody. Heartbreak, too late. Separating from the party, you're going to crash and burn. He's already out as the leader, right? He's feeling quite anxious. He's also, he's worried about a return of a pandemic, like another pandemic, and what that's going to do, because of what's going on with no proper CDC or health things. The doctors are even speaking out. But
go pray it away, Jen. Go pray it away.
Burdened in isolation. It's like, he can't fight the strength of loser Trump. He can't fight it. You did this, Mitch. He can't control it.
So it's starting to pick up steam, what we've all known, that there was some fuckery in the elections. Just yesterday, Tom Hartman did a show with Greg
especially
Palast.
after he said we rigged it.
Tom Hartman did a show yesterday with Greg Palast, and they were talking about not the rigging portion, not that part, but the other efforts that Trump had with throwing out votes and disenfranchising voters and all that other shit, how that was allowed to stand. I will never, ever, ever know, nor will I understand. Jasmine Crockett, and Daniel Goldman have come out and said that they want to investigate his claims.
Well, they're trying to get a committee, to look into it now in Congress, and that's going to go nowhere.
No.
Anybody they subpoena just won't show up.
Yep, we've seen this game before already.
Yeah, look at especially anybody in the government. What's his name from Ohio that never honored his subpoena to the January 6th
Jim
committee,
Jordan?
and now they're going after the January 6th committee.
Jim Jordan?
Yeah. Jim Schwartz.
Yep. So
Becca, state again what this Grand Tableau was on.
This Grand Tableau, I did it January 1st, 2025. His other one is still active, but I did this one to see if the schemes that he pulled off to steal the election, if they would go. I'm going to make you small, Jen.
Okay.
If he's going to get away with it. So, hold on. Let me see. That's the best I can do right here. Okay.
So it's not a usual Trump tableau. You had the thought of, is he going to get away with it?
Mm-hmm. So we're seeing from this Grand Tableau the corners. News of a lie, treachery, and achievement for a loss. That achievement is ruptured, and then there's a change and something gets overturned. Okay. He's sitting in the house of snake. So we know you ain't got to tell us the guy's a liar. Okay. This right here, this top line is talking about an abundance of lies and betrayals, something to do in a market with gambling, fish in the house of Clover. Clover is your gambling card in the house of Bouquet with the child underneath it. This is probably that Shane Copeland kid. Okay.
Poly market.
The poly market stuff, because there's gambling, money gambling. Okay. So heart in the house of ship, something desired that was from abroad, fraud to get into the house, fox in the house of house, also a trap, mice in the house of tree. Okay. Bear in the house of clouds, man in the house of snake, anchor in the house of coffin. He committed an abundance of treason and fraud to steal something to attain power. Here, that's that first line read straight across. What he has attained, because he attained it through what? Lying. Okay, so there's the lie in the house of Rider. He was able to achieve his goal through lying, and it was persistent, even though he lost. What he has achieved gets cut away here. And then there's a change. But if you follow it up this way, if this is his oath here is argued and cut. Do you see what I'm saying? It's broken.
He's invalidated.
It's broken. Okay. This right here, the false opportunities that he had in the swing states all lead back to this kid. This kid's in big trouble. Okay. The clouds is sitting in house tower. Okay. That's usually serious illness or death. But in this case,
and they've already raided him. So we know they know about him.
Yes. I would say this kid is in huge, huge, huge trouble. This is the poly market kid. You have a jack and a king right there. Okay, there's another woman here somehow involved, Queen of Clubs, but I'll come back to that later. This way, there's the guilt and the messages, text messages, emails, phone calls, verbal transcripts, letter in the house of birds, followed by the birds in the house of son, or in the house of child. Okay, so these two lines, if read together, he committed an abundance of fraud and lies and stole a bunch of stuff in order to attain power. The evidence is on a kid's phone. There's the child, there's the guilt, there's the records and the evidence on his phone that showed his victory on a map and how this was committed. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right. This right here, there's the elections that were changed and switched, also the swing states. This is the crossroad in the House of Storks, followed by the Storks in the House of Ring. Swing states. So right here, that whole situation that we saw, all seven, look at that card, all seven swing states, false opportunity in the swing states. Does that make sense?
He couldn't win them without making it fake.
Look at this line right here. Manipulated results. Okay? To grant him what he wanted from the public, from abroad. Ship in the house of man, who's a liar. And the answer, they have the answers of the many. Does that make sense? To give him the majority. But it was manipulated here. Now, this right here is that the elections for the House, huge problems. Huge problems. Look at how distant he is from the House. It falls in her line, but she's got these two very bad cards in front of her. She's still far, but she's closer than he is. Okay? So it has to be read like this.
She's boxing it in. For those who haven't watched Becca do a grand tableau on her channel before, these cards read like sentences. She's putting it together beautifully.
So there's the House, there's the majority, and there's him getting in. But there's news coming out that he stole it. This sits in the House of Mice. He took away stuff from being delivered. Okay? So the whole situation with the House is, it's a fuckery. And she was not pleased because of a loss, an ending and a loss that was brought by an enemy that aided him. There is a person that has access to a network that is in alliance with him, and they worked to steal something. See, dog to mice to man. Okay? So this is more than likely Elon Musk. He's going to get thrown under the bus because of position.
Trump already did last week when he said, Elon, he knows all about computers.
Yeah. So, and look here. He has the knowledge and the secrets
and the access. Guilt.
Okay. Now, what else was I saying? There's a turnover or a change in government that gets delayed. Right here. There's a change in government, something that is solid and long-standing. The results solid and long-standing. There's a transition, but it gets delayed. Here. Does that make sense? So it's not like it's like it doesn't fully transition. Lilies, moon, lilies, and scythes. So that's like fame and recognition, and the ethics of it are not there. It's not ethical. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So I was trying to see, because we've seen it in previous tableaus, that he was going to lie, cheat, and steal. What's crazy to think is that he wouldn't have lied, cheated, and stole, knowing that he was already a convicted felon pending 3 more criminal trials for felonies, state and federal. It would be insane to think that he did not do it again. Are you following me? So the cards for scheming and cheating. The snake, because it has to do with lies. The fox, because it's manipulation and cunning. The mice, because it's criminality and thievery. Okay. The clouds, because it confuses and causes doubt. Okay. The crossroads, because it is a card of duplicity and dualities. The book, for secrets that remain hidden. Okay. Those are the cards of schemes and fuckery, for lack of better words. The cards of revelation, the sun, the stars, the scythe, because it breaks something open, kind of like cracking an egg or cracking a geode. Okay. For the crossroads here, it looks like it is revealed to the public via an intelligence agency here. This is the one that exposes it. The clouds here is exposed by the key. Okay, so does it get exposed? Yes. The fox, knights here to the sun. This the fraud is exposed here. The thievery is exposed here. Let me see. The clouds is exposed here by the key. What else did I have? The crossroads, I said, is already, this is Tower in the House of Book. There's the intelligence agency, so it comes out via an intelligence agency.
Even the diagonal for man shows an exposure of his loss.
No.
Man's son.
No.
Man's son.
Nope. No. That's him in the House of Snake. Man is a liar. Okay. The sun is in the House of Fox, which would be a successful scheme. And then it comes to an end here. It closes and comes to an end. And then there's a transition where he goes far away. This sits in the House of Man because someone had access to a network. Who had access to the network? This little person down here who was working closely with an enemy. Mountain enemy, blockages, delays. Okay. She is being rather patient. After all this shakes out, she's going to have to work on her image because she has the sun and moon, or the sun and the stars crowning her. She's got the moon close by. It's below her, but the lilies is right here. When this gets broken up and he goes bye-byes, she's going to have a problem with her integrity. Does that make sense?
Yeah, they're going to attack her.
Yeah, the lily sits below her feet. So even though everyone knows that what he did, those of us living in reality knows exactly what this man is capable of. We will believe it. That tiny percentage of people won't. Those looking to politicize the situation won't, and it's more than likely that they will capitalize.
Those he just let out of prison.
Yeah,
that he just pardoned.
So it's like it'll get politicized more than likely and cause her problems. So it's going to be an effort for her to regain her credibility and her integrity. She never lost it. She's a woman of integrity, but they're going to use it against her simply because of where it lands. But it lands below his feet too. And he is a known liar. And he's a convicted felon. And he incited an insurrection. So it's not like, it's like slinging shit at the wall. Do you see what I'm saying? So there's that. But do you have any questions on this one, Jenny?
Because
this one,
I was just going to comment, like, I know, because we were picking apart one of my GTs that I had done back in November, and it showed that Vance won't even get in because he's linked. He's linked to it all. And then your third in line would be Speaker of the House, and on my GT, it showed the Speaker of the House is linked. So, you know, none of these people will get in, and if they show she actually won, she's
Hold on,
rightfully should get in.
Jen. Which, do you remember what question it was on that grand tableau?
On mine,
Mm-hmm.
well, I had asked who is inaugurated as president of the U.S. in
Was that one
2025.
on November 16th, 2024?
Yeah, and it starts with child in the House
Yeah,
of
this
Writers.
one right here. Do you want me to put that one up?
Yeah, sure. Because what's interesting, it shows some stuff around the eclipse, the lunar eclipse in March.
Yep.
So
Yep.
it's an interesting one. So I'm gonna throw cards on some other things while you set that one up.
Okay, thank you, Jen. I really appreciate it.
Becca was helping because I'm on the phone with her. Like, what did I miss? What did I miss? Yes, and we were breaking apart this GT, and Becca was teaching me how to look at the scheming cards, and the clusters that were showing up in this GT. I'm going to look at.
I will die on the hill that he doesn't stay. To me, it sounds like I'm moving the goalpost.
Yeah.
But when I did the first one, that showed man, house, fox, snake. I was like, he doesn't get in. He doesn't get in. I talked to Lori afterwards. I said, Lori, I don't like how close he is to that house because he was stepping into it, man and house, and he was close to the mice, meaning that he would steal it. But what he stole gets taken away from him as well, because eventually he ends up isolated, tower in the house of man. And then he was in the house of woman.
And it was interesting, like the clips of Kamala and Biden walking into the inauguration where they're interpreting what she's mouthing to Biden is justice is coming, which Becca's always talked about, the trap that shows up in all these GTs.
Yeah, it's insane.
I'm going to ask, does Kamala know justice is coming? Let's see how the tarot answers that. Does Kamala know? Thank you, Mary Jo. Do timeline shifts affect a grand tableau?
No.
I don't think so. I don't.
No.
It's our interpretation of it that we might miss something in the timing of it. Tarot, it's hard to tell timing. Every time I ask who's going to be the president, it's always Kabbalah. So, what tarot doesn't say is they're going to invalidate Trump. Unless you ask that, will they invalidate him?
I don't even know how that's going to happen because he controls everything right now, minus the Justice Department so far.
Yeah.
So far.
Because he's starting to get some of his people in. It's going to make it harder and harder. So they've got to break it out.
And I don't see impeachment in any of his. I don't see it.
We've got Tuesday, the 28th, Canada is releasing their, thank you, Ang, their report on election integrity.
You should read on that, Jenny. You should read on that too.
Well, it kind of shows up in this GT, so not kind of. It does show up like Canada helping.
Problem is they don't have jurisdiction over us. However, it may have some influence to light a fire under the glasses.
Joe kept saying Kamala's not going anywhere, and Kamala kept saying, I'm not going anywhere.
There's also something quite interesting that I wanted to bring to your attention. When you're done spreading cards there, I'll let you know all about it.
How's Kamala feeling? A little bit moody because she knows Trump is corrupt. The loser Trump. She knows she had the votes. She has the knowledge. But she sees everything getting broken down, and she knows if she's patient, she's going to end up in power. Everything's a lie that we're seeing right now. This is part of the plan. So
it's like it's only temporary.
Yeah, like it was a part of the plan. I didn't see that before, but apparently it looks like it's part of the plan to let him into the White House and do all this crap.
Not just that. Look at how many people are having serious buyer's remorse.
Yeah, the people that are now paying $1,600 for their insulin, they got serious.
Not just that. You don't know how many people I've seen on TikToks when that whole bullshit Latinos for Trump was going around. Now they're all on TikTok sobbing, begging for people to forgive them and help them out. As a Latina myself, no, because you have proven that you are a danger to yourself and your entire community. Because now when your grandma and your grandpa and your aunts and uncles and your husbands and wives and your kids are shitting their pants that they're going to get raided by ICE in school or at church or at the grocery store, you have nobody else to blame but yourself. So this is the fuck around and find out era. Like...
Just to talk about your grand tableaus a minute, when we throw grand tableaus, we use regular size decks because you really have to focus on the question stuff. And then to get it all on camera, we use these little mini petite decks so that we can get all the cards in frame. They're much smaller than like a normal size card.
I do my grand tableaus using my regular cards. I make a chart, I write it down, and then I use these so it fits into frame.
Yeah, okay. I do the same thing. I write it down and date it, and how I phrase, like if it's a person, I just focus on the person. But if this one that Becca's laying out right now, the question was, who is inaugurated as president of the U.S. in 2025?
You want to hear my theory?
November 16th.
You want to hear my theory?
What's that?
And it's not my theory. This is a theory for entertainment purposes only. I don't want people getting their hopes up. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. You know what people are speculating over on the tickety-tockety?
What?
You know what Kamala Harris just did?
Uh-oh.
She just opened up an LLC. You know what the name of the LLC is?
Uh-oh.
I think it's called Propriety or something like that, 49. Now people are like, well, why is she naming it 49? Why would she possibly be naming it like Propriety or something 49? Well, if this shit goes down the way that Pioneer 49, thank you. Pioneer 49 is the name of her new LLC. Why would she be naming it that? People are speculating that when this shit blows up, the Fanta fascist is going to get booted. The previous one has to step in, making him 48 until this is sorted, and then she becomes 49. And then she becomes 49. That is what. Yeah.
Yeah, because they can't give it to Vance. They can't give it to Moses Mike. They're all up to
the whole entire ticket is compromised.
Yeah.
It was her Secret Service name while she was voted. Yeah. So his entire ticket is compromised. So
again, this tableau is from November 16th, 2024. Who is inaugurated? Trump shows up as man, woman is Harris. We had Elon showing up as the fish. Whip was Matt Gaetz. The House was Mike Johnson.
Which is funny because he sits on the House of Birds. There's your
Speaker of the House. And then Lily's was Alfie Oakes we were getting at one point. Snake we thought might be Susie Wiles, and we thought Bouquet might be Fannie Willis when we first did this, but you know, they could show up for different people. So
the question was, who gets inaugurated? Well, here's the ring. He knights to the ring. She is too far from the ring. She's only hitting it at the diagonal. Okay?
even though she's stepping into the White House below
So
her.
they're both close. Okay? They are both close. She's hitting the ring this way. Woman, she's in the house of house with the house underneath. So woman in the house, woman into the house. She has difficulty getting there because this man desired something, desired to attain many, a lot. Okay? Now, the only way to get him, who sits in his own house, which is arrogance, okay? And look at how far above him she is. So he has the entire weight of this tableau on him. All right? She's stepping into the house, and he has difficulty getting there because it's above him. The oath, there's the woman in the house. There's new power, bear, in the house of child, a new executive. There's the ring in the house of crossroads. The choice or the decision to promise something, and there's the moon in the house of sun. Okay, so it's her making that promise of authority and recognition. The only way to get him to talk to this is you have tonight. 2 to the left, 1 up top. What follows the ring? The scythe. That promise is broken. Okay? Corner it this way. He makes a difficult, painful promise, and it is broken.
He doesn't uphold the Constitution.
Well, he's already broken his fucking promise once. What the hell makes you think he's not going to do it again? You know, so then up here, because we can see that the only way to get him to talk is to knight it. What follows him? The coffin. Okay? His loss. That, this right here is cut off. A difficult, very painful news being brought that he was promised something for the elections, and he got aid. He was gifted aid and opportunity from thieves from afar. Ship in the house of mice, followed by mice. Thieves from abroad. Does that make sense? The transition was stolen. The transfer was stolen. Does that make sense? Now, we also discussed his health because he's got some bad shit. This is something that spreads and metastasizes, could show
if you box him in, he is his health is shot.
Yeah. This is in the house of Tower, a hospital. This is bruising on the skin.
And we've seen bruising on his hands.
There's something that he has that spreads and metastasizes that causes bruising on the skin, possibly related to some way, shape, or form to a blockage of some sort. But this shows that he's seriously ill. Seriously ill. And this is a sudden, you know, either way, I don't think it's this that gets him out. I think it's the revelation, because here is answers from an institution from abroad that hits the media. Okay. Answers or exposure of a lie. This sits in the house of snake. The executive office. Tower in the house of bear. A transition or a transfer that was stolen, or thievery from abroad, and then it gets recognized in the media here.
And one thing I want to call out in that line, something that jumped out at me when Becca was looking at this again for me, sun is in the house, or moon is in the house of sun. So the moon is over the sun. Lunar eclipse. That's March 14th. There's a solar eclipse, a partial solar eclipse on March 29th, but the lunar eclipse is a full moon lunar eclipse. And if you listen to the astrology channels, they've been talking about this already. So watch around March 14th, something big big revelations coming out.
Can you read on that? You want to read on that?
Yeah, let me see what's happening, and then show the diagonal from that ship where we were kind of picking up. It was Canada, the other way.
No.
The
Oh,
with the bouquet.
right here,
Yeah,
because of the botanical, 2 of the 3 botanicals. So the botanicals are the lilies and the bouquet and the clover. These 2, I forget exactly the old poem that goes to them based on the original instructions, but it talks about the sweetness and the perfume of the bouquet. And if these are close to the querent, crowning them, it brings good fortune, because it kind of like, you don't smell like shit, in other words, you know what I mean? But in this one, we were trying to figure out who this person from abroad was that brings evidence that comes out to the public. It's a foreign country or foreigner that has botanicals,
like a leaf.
like a leaf or a flower. Okay, so the only person I can think of is Canada, because this is a botanical, this is a botanical, this is the person from abroad, and there's the report. So
And that's
there's
coming
that.
out Tuesday, so pay attention to that. One other thing about this tableau: Scythe and lilies mirror each other in this.
Mm-hmm. And also the corners news that there was serious fraudulent results were achieved. New, small at the beginning, fraud results achieved. And then it puts the entire house, the White House, and the executive under serious strain, and the news comes out. The news of an enemy that helped. This sits in the house of Mountain. So an enemy had access to lie, okay, and cheat and steal, and he benefited from it. And he also sought out help. So
you asked me what was going to be happening around the lunar eclipse. You're not going to believe the first 2 cards. You sat here, guys, and you watched me shuffle the moon, which has an eclipse on it, right? The moon card has it shows an eclipse on it, and it's covered by the sun. So
wow.
between those 2 eclipse dates, I'm telling you, something big is going on here. Because I think, whether it goes to the courts, and the investigations really come out, the evidence comes out that Kamala had the votes, the manipulation, and there's a growth that brings her the opportunity, to take the office. So something big's happening in March, and I think it starts with the lunar eclipse, March 14th.
And I think Lori was getting her for March as well. So it's almost like there's a disruption, an announcement that brings a disruption. He gets put on pause.
If you look at
Either way, I'm going to say this now. This is not the cards. This is just me and my personal observations. Buckle up, Buttercup, because we've already seen what this fucker is capable of the first time he lost. This time, they gave him the keys to the house only to snatch it away. It's going to get ugly, is all I'm going to say. I do not see people storming the Capitol as clear as it was in that one tableau, that 1 year before January. It's not clear in this, but all I can say is it's going to get ugly, because we know,
because they're going to accuse us of stealing it. Well,
go ahead.
Speaker of the House there, the House and the House of Birds links to all this. So he's not going to walk into the White House, I believe JD Vance shows up in that first column with child, like he could try to claim, I can't remember, he could try to secure 25th Amendment with anchor in the House of Ring at the bottom there.
Yeah, because it's like he has a choice. He's got a couple of choices and alternatives that he knows he'll have victory on. Um, there's the victory, bad health around him. See that? This sits in the house of ring. Ring is number 25. So,
Going
and this
across from
guy,
sun, it goes to 25 to the ring.
no, it doesn't.
No,
Not from here.
the row that starts with sun
Yeah,
has the
but this
ring
is
in it
too
later.
far. This is too far. Okay. So, what, because of near and far, it's out of reach. Okay. He knows that he has uh, options and choices to achieve that successfully because there's plenty of people that are willing to betray a successful betrayal because his health is suffering. And there's news that this needs to be committed. Okay. So they're going to Caesar his ass. But either way, the transition and the transfer is taken away. Do you see what I'm saying? Um, for him to get here, no, he still doesn't get it. Look at how far he is. So he would have to go here, here, here to here. Do you see what I'm saying? And even when you look at the corners, if this is him, okay, there's fraud in the results that was achieved. The entire ticket is fraudulent. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, it doesn't matter which way he tries to stick the knives into this guy. He's gone too. So
We were talking a little bit about tower next to garden in the last two
what
columns
about
there.
it?
Like somebody might try to take it to the public, the information.
Mm-mm. No, because the writer's not there. Um, the writer is what delivers news. Okay, so it would have to go this way and this way. The writer is in the house of mountain. So there's news that there's an enemy that did the fuckery in secret. Okay.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And that gets talked about, but it doesn't. So
I just wonder if our ABC agencies, if they're still able to work on this in light of Trump getting his people in over these agencies. Like, are they
has
working
he
on it in
have all of
secret?
them have all of them been confirmed?
No.
Then they still, because last time I think Merrick Garland didn't get confirmed until the end of February, early March. I don't remember when there's no fucking way in hell they're, well, I take that back because I was going to say there's no way that they're going to allow Tulsi Gabbard in, but then again, they just nominated Pete Hegseth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so,
But
but this right here says that the intelligence agencies are shitting their pants. There's the intelligence agencies here, nervous. They're losing confidence. They're losing their self-esteem this way. Globally, the intelligence agencies globally are having stuff taken away from them and they're losing confidence. Because this would be your ambitions and your self-esteem. It gets
mhm.
eaten away here. See what I'm saying? So there's that. I just cannot believe that he's like, yeah, we stole it.
Yeah, then he just flat out said it. It
He
was
knows
rigged.
so much. He
I'm going to
knows.
be your president during the. Let me ask that. Will Trump be the president during the Olympics? Because he said, "Oh, thanks to rigging the election, I'll be your president during the Olympics." I'll ask it that way.
So as scary as everything is right now, um, pay attention to what's going on. But this, no, he doesn't stay here it shows her. Every single tableau, it shows her. Except for the one that showed him stealing it. He was right here. It was man, house, fox, and snake. And then the mice was over here. He stole it, but then it gets taken away.
He'll be watching the Olympics with his kids and his family. I no, he's not in the White House. There's treachery in the that he's done. I don't think he'll be president. he may hang on to the he may be totally nuts and saying, yeah, I'm the president, in his little padded room cell, but no.
I just can't. I cannot believe that this man has thrown this country into chaos for the last decade. For the last fucking decade.
Benedict Arnold to shame,
For the last decade, and our institutions failed to hold this motherfucker accountable. Luigi Mangione allegedly pops the CEO, and the entire weight of the fucking Justice Department is on his head with charges of terrorism because the CEOs were scared and they made a couple of phone calls. Meanwhile, this motherfucker incited an insurrection, and the least you can do is, oh, well, Chuck's better luck next time, you guys. Like, I mean, it is
like there didn't even need to be an investigation. We saw what happened on TV in January 21st. They should have indicted his ass.
Yes. And no, a lot of people, J-Lo, it is my belief, hey, Sebastian, and it's my belief that a lot of people got duped, and I do believe it, that he did pull some fuckery, but my festivities are squarely on the entire judicial system. If you are a black man in this country, they have no goddamn problem throwing your ass in jail, throwing you under the jail. You pop the CEO, they will put you under the jail. You run this country as a president and you incite an insurrection. Well, maybe we don't want to seem like we're being, political. Like maybe we shouldn't do anything. It's a fucking embarrassment,
We have one of the highest incarceration rates in the world. And, as a percentage of population stuff. And it's like, they target certain people and they just load up our prisons.
Yep. And that the whole thing with Luigi Mangione really pissed me off, because they're saying now that the ballistics don't even freaking match. They don't even match. That's what I've been hearing, but the entirety of the situation pisses me off, because here is a person that in this country we're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. Correct? Correct? You have the corrupt motherfucking mayor of New York doing an entire spectacle to arrest Luigi Mangione and transfer him to New York. And he's over at the White House kissing the ring because he wants a pardon because he himself is under indictment. So they're willing to hang some rando, whether he did it or not. And what pisses me off is, okay, you popped a CEO. The other guy killed over 1 million people, okay, because of his negligence during COVID. He incited an insurrection which cost the lives of police officers. He bankrupted the fucking country. I mean, I could keep going on and on and on. He's a convicted
Protect the blue, and he caused police officers to get killed. But yeah, tell me all about Ashley Abbott all day long. Now, I got two other thoughts. Did you see the pictures of Melania with him in California?
Yeah, she let Gavin Newsom kiss her.
Well, was that fake Melania? Because she didn't look like she looked at the inauguration or at the Jimmy Carter funeral. And kudos to her for wearing the kiss guard to the inauguration, the hat out to here.
I'll tell you what that is. She wants to bang Newsom. That's what that is. She hates her husband and she won't leave him because she's there for the money. She's just as vile and disgusting as he is.
when she hasn't worn a hat, like at Jimmy Carter's funeral, her hair is like a mess. And then, like, I don't know what's going on with it, if her hair's falling out or something. Like, I feel like something is going on with her hair because she's not, or is she just not fixing herself up for Trump because she doesn't care? What's going on with her appearance? She's looking a little worn out.
They don't even live in the same house, so how can he beat her?
Yeah, like
seriously, they don't even live in the same state, so how
she's
can
not doing the injections anymore. Yeah, my pendulum crystal on the tree got active when I started talking about Melania. And I swear, if her eyes could have gotten any narrower when that bishop was talking, it's like they started out like this and they just like narrow into little split.
That whole fucking family is just vile. Just vile, 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 vile scum. She's probably having what's going on with her appearance. She's probably got some health issues that have to do with like her immune system of some sort right here. I'm not a doctor, so don't ask me, but there's health suffers, and this would be the immune system.
She's definitely going through some changes. I'm getting here, and she may have changed like doctors, but Trump keeps manipulating her to sit there and be stoic or whatever. I think she is sick. I think she's got some issues, and there's also maybe something about the injections that she's used to work on her face maybe are causing some problems. So maybe she's got a little issue with the Botox, like a reaction or something.
I got the moon, the ship, the moon, ship, tree, cross, garden. In a health reading, the moon and the ship, that would be like the moon being the female cycle.
Mm.
So I don't know how old she is. Maybe it's menopause or whatever, but it's causing her health issues with her immune system. Don't ask. Don't know. But anyways, so
I didn't think it even looked like her in California. I did think that looked like her at the inauguration. It definitely was her tell when she wore the hat, so Trump couldn't get to her to kiss her. But I didn't think it looked like her in California. It looked like someone a little younger because she had these like puppy places on her here, like where she wasn't getting injections anymore.
So Trump admitted just recently on the 19th that a certain someone with a lot of knowledge about vote counting machines said it 3 times. Rewind the clock back to last year when he was saying, I don't need your votes. I have all the votes I need. I'm going to have it fixed so good you'll never have to vote again. I have been screaming from the rooftops that if they don't fix this shit, forget the midterms. Because he told you, I will have it fixed so good you'll never vote again.
You'll never have to vote again.
We're going to be just like Russia. We could go to the polls. Every single person eligible to vote can go vote, and it's not going to make a difference because the fix is in. So I want to know, after that admission, we know that Jasmine Crockett and Daniel Goldberg are calling for investigations, which we've already discussed, are not going to go anywhere. Will this get more tracking?
The fact that the election was rigged. Will we
No,
see
no,
more
no, 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 no. Not the fact that it was rigged, because right now,
investigations into it?
no. Um,
The
the
committee?
fact that the words he used, okay, we rigged it, we rigged it, we rigged it, you'll never have to vote again, yada yada. Is that narrative going to gain traction?
Oh, like he will rig it for future elections.
That's what I've been screaming, Janelle. I've been screaming it from the rooftops. This whole, oh, we have the midterms. No, you don't, bitch. No, you don't. Welcome to Russia.
They did it successfully. Nobody stopped them this last time. You better believe they would fix the midterms.
And let's all be very clear. Republicans have been going after one party rule for decades. Okay, this is not something that just started with Trump. They have been doing this for decades. Have been wanting complete one party rule, which is the party rule of the minority, is what they've been working for decades for. And the Democrats have been an utter failure in being on offense.
And an oligarchy, because they did away with Citizens did away with Citizens United. So I'm getting that's their legacy that Republicans will be remembered for, that rigging and stealing elections and corrupting them. That's what they want to do. That yes, this would grow if we sit on our laurels and don't do anything. But I get that Kamala will put this out to field, so to speak, when she's working. So I'm still getting she gets in. So I don't think it will be able to get the traction that it needs to rig as bad in future elections. I feel like she's going to secure the votes somehow. What are you getting?
Yes.
Their plan is yes. Their plan is absolutely yes.
Yes, the narrative will gain traction. We saw it happen with our own eyes the night of the election, over 100 bomb threats. And oh yeah, that was nothing. Totally fine. Not one not one person fighting the results of the election when they went to certify the votes. Everybody showed up smiling. I'm like, this is just freaking weird. The whole thing was weird. And can you imagine being all those former presidents when the Mango Mussolini, the Fanta fascist, was getting sworn in, and they all know exactly what he did?
They seem so relaxed at the inauguration. Hillary laughing, of course, when Trump talks about Gulf of America and all that, which he's already getting crap. If you haven't read his executive orders, A, he took down the Spanish speaking part of the White House website. B, he's got all his executive orders in. And C, he took the Constitution down because he wants to rewrite it his way.
Here's another thing. While I was recommending books earlier, if you have a Five Below near you, a Five Below is like it's a store.
Yeah, where everything's under $5.
Everything is under $5. Run. Do not walk. Run. They are selling copies of the United States Constitution, $3.99, and a book on how the government works. Okay. And I know this because I have a Five Below right down the street from me where I go grocery shopping and stuff. They understood the assignment. Five Below understood the assignment. Okay. So people right now are stockpiling copies of the Constitution because you can no longer find it
on
on
our
the
website.
website because they took it down, you know? So, yeah, Greg Palast was saying that 3 million people were purged. Yep.
From the voting
Yeah.
rolls. Yep.
Yep. So, okay, on with the questions. Let me see here. Okay. I had a question. Why did our government just roll over? I'm going to reword that. Why were the Democrats and everybody so calm? Why was everybody so calm
At the
when they handed
inauguration.
over the reins to a fascist? Because that's telling. You know what I mean? Like,
And even like Biden and Bush and Clinton, who still get security updates, right? Intel reports. They're all so calm sitting up there.
I would not trust an electronic copy from the National Archives either, because it will not be long until they take that one down too.
I'm actually getting that they think that um, the stuff that Trump is doing, constricting everything that no one is accepting, that it will actually strengthen our laws. That because a lot is going to come out that will cause us to get stronger laws out of this. They know people are getting paid off by Russia too, so that's in here. They know people are looking into that, so I think they know people in the intel that's still working. Um, they know that Kamala had the support, that she secured this election, and there's news coming out about how much people loved her, how many votes she had. And I think they know also there's global support for this. So whether it's members of NATO or allies, the what they call the Five Eyes, those kind of countries.
Okay, so why were they so calm? There's a delay here that comes to an end. Okay. And something that they're going to have to keep hidden and private and quiet from the public. Okay. Also, something to do here with an enemy in a network. Okay. That is classified or quiet. Okay. The loss will soon be, the loss and the ending will be rebirthed, almost like a resurrection sort of thing. Okay. Um, Another way to read this is an enemy has loss, but we have to keep it quiet, classified from the public, because there's the public, there's the victory, the success. remain positive and optimistic for the public and keep your mouth shut. Okay. There is danger here that came from abroad to get something that they desired that became that's a painful promise. It's going to be um, a difficult promise. Like they're going to have a hard time keeping that promise. Okay. Right here, the enemy struck. Also, the delays are ruptured. Okay. So it's almost like a waiting period. You got to wait it out until it's the right time. This right here is talking about the secrets revealed, a sudden revelation this way. Okay. There is an ending and a loss, and then a transition, a transfer, what the public desired and what they were committed to. And then a very painful, burdensome secret and a very painful and burdensome project. This is right here an attack on society to make society suffer. So, like I wouldn't necessarily say hack. Well, yeah, because this would be like your network, a hack in the network that made things suffer. They have knowledge of that, and it's a painful secret to keep. Okay, it's almost like if this is the enemy, okay, and you want to stop the enemy, you got to keep your mouth shut. What's that saying? Never interrupt your enemy when he's making a mistake.
Yeah, hold your friends close to your enemies closer too.
Yeah. So there's that.
So make the enemy think, yeah, Trump got in.
So there's the enemy and what they desired. They have knowledge of it and keeping it secret. Danger to the public. Also, not just danger to the public, but a hack in a network. And then there's suffering here. Okay. This way, a successful transition, a resolution to the loss, secret desires and passion, but it's painful for them to keep it. But it's almost like they know what happened. We're just going to have to keep it undercover. Do you see what I'm saying with the book here? Just keep it quiet for now. And here's another thing. The day after the election, AOC was like, you're going to have to give it a minute. What happened was so massive. You're going to have to give it a minute. Well, it's been a couple minutes and nobody has said anything. As a matter of fact, none of the Dems have done anything. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like,
look, we had a few things going on. Like we had hostages we were getting back. So it could be partially because of that. We had Russia threatening to put bombs on airplanes, not unlike 9/11.
And Poland was the one that discovered that. Poland was the one that came out and blew the whistle on that because they had evidence. They had evidence that this is exactly what Russia was doing. And with that scythe, the garden, and the cross, keep your mouth shut right for now to minimize a danger to the public and public suffering, you know? So
thank you, Kathy. Kathy's saying the ACLU sells 10 packs of the pocket copies of the U.S. Constitution for less than $20. So buy a 10-pack and give them to all your friends.
I really do not know where I stand with the ACLU after that fuckery that they just did. I'm sorry. I used to think that they were an outstanding organization until they excused Elon Musk. Oh, everybody's making a mountain out of a molehill. It was nothing. The ACLU said that.
Oh, man.
And then 3 days later, Elon Musk was posting a bunch of anti-Semitic stuff. And then they were like, oh, yeah, maybe it was what we thought.
Yeah.
No, that was, when I say I have zero tolerance for that bullshit, I have zero tolerance for that bullshit. That was your one fuck up and your one fuck up only.
We all knew what that hand gesture was, and he turned around and did it twice, and he turned around and did it to the crowd in the back. We know what that was.
Oh yeah, sorry, I confused him. The ADL, the Anti-Defamation League. Sorry. Yeah, I was so, and also, for those of you that
Amazon
don't
sells it,
know,
but I try not to support Bezos as much as possible.
the
All you Prime members, think about that. Yeah, all those oligarchs lined up there on the stage in front of former presidents, in front of uh, our Congress people and stuff. It's like that was crazy to line up all those oligarchs there.
there was the Temkin Institute has put a red flag on the United States
Yep.
because of what Elon Musk did. And they said get ready for America to start genociding people. And it's like, well, and what's sad is none of these freaking MAGA morons have any idea because they are so stupid. Dear God, these people are so stupid. But
When
anyways,
you've got a state like Mississippi that's got on the floor right now, they want to vote on a law to take the illegal immigrants and make them slave
yep,
workers until they're deported. Forget about Lincoln that did away with slavery. I'm like, oh my God.
that was the plan all along, Jen. Do you know
Yeah.
how much those farm workers that are over here on visas get paid? Some of them are lucky if they get paid minimum wage. In the state of California here, they get paid minimum wage. In other red states, they probably get paid $2.13 an hour per box. Okay, per box of produce. All right. Name me one white man or one white woman that is willing to do that job, that backbreaking work for $2.13 with no benefits. Those are the jobs the immigrants are taking. Okay, go get them back.
Still paying Social Security and income tax.
Yeah. So here's another question. The Canadian Commissioner, Marie Jose Hugh, I don't know, will release the final report of the public inquiry into foreign interference in federal electoral processes and democratic institutions this Tuesday, January 28th. Will this report include the US election? I don't think it will because it's Canada, not America. But we'll start.
But it says foreign, so it should include all.
No, it's foreign into them. So I don't see why it would include, oh, we're checking America's elections too. But just to answer the question that was on the community tab.
For some reason, I'm getting that this report is a condensed version. That somehow it's a little bit condensed down about the bullying and the aggression, foreign. There's more stealing that's going to come out later. There's a timing thing with it. They know about the treason here, with their ally. But there's something about the timing of it because of it's kind of like they're in a little bit of a wait and see thing to see what's going on here with our legal system. You know, it's kind of like NATO needed to get aggressive, and shore up their own things and not rely on us because Trump was coming in. It's kind of that, like they're in a little bit of wait and see mode is what I'm getting before releasing. They have it, have information about it, know something, but they're hanging on to part of it. Thank you, Patty. Patty, Sharon Sipe's been posting in chat and Lucky Girl, Lenormand books and decks that Becca uses. What are you getting, Becca?
No, it has nothing to do with us. They're not going to have information on our election. It is for them specifically. However, what could be identified that was used in their elections was financiers, people with a lot of money. So, and how these people used their resources for openings. Does that make sense? So they're not going to say, oh, well, we found evidence that they did this in America. No, because that would mean that they would have access to our stuff here. That's not what's going to be in the report. What's going to be in the report, there's your elections, there's your finances, and how these people have access. So the main thing in that report is going to be this: the oligarchs, the financiers, quite possibly also Russia. Okay? But there's several of them, more than one oligarch here. Okay? That's what's going to be in their report. Let me see. What else is on here? Oh God. Let's see what's going to happen in March for him.
For Trump?
Mm-hmm.
How does Trump's March look? Thank you, Karen, for keeping up with the questions in the chat. Especially when we're overlapping them with Becca doing grand tableaus and me filling in with questions. How does Trump's March go? March 2025, I'm going to ask to be specific.
I will say this. I wish Gavin Newsom would have throat punched him, dude. I swear to God.
I'm getting my pack your bags, you're moving card from the White House here. Like even Republicans are going off of him. Even Republicans are like, ooh, in our government, like growing problems. More communication or evidence coming out that it's a lie about him getting in. It's a crash and burn moment I'm getting. He didn't have the votes. Something's coming out about the votes. He did not have the votes. The corruption around it. The pack your bags, you're moving card. That might be the start of getting him out.
Well, first off, there's a lot of sorrow and serious illness with these two.
Ooh.
And this is sorrow. This is serious illness. There's talks about a lot of meetings.
Are we looking at a state funeral, Becca?
You better not, because I will be the first over there taking a piss on his grave. Like, I'm not even joking. There is a lot of talk, gossip, meetings about the trouble that he's bringing and how to restore the peace. There's talks about how to betray him while keeping it peaceful, because there's sorrow and he's seriously ill. These two right here are illness and death. Not saying he's going to die. Okay. There's also news coming out that he's isolated one way, shape, or form, or he's isolated or in the courts. Does that make sense?
Put the straight jacket or in the courts or in a hospital room.
Mm-hmm. There are legal issues that are going to need clarification by an experienced judge. Also, the military comes in here. Perhaps something to do with space. I'm not talking SpaceX or anything like that. Not like that. Okay, so don't think SpaceX, don't think Elon Musk. He's not here. So this could be satellites or something like that. Well, not really even satellites. It's like, it's not the networks. It's not satellite. Hold on. It's like it's space, but it's not related to Elon Musk. Does that make sense? So it's not, but it's military. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's like a military program up here. Widespread trouble, but mostly conversations that are being had on how they're going to stick it to him while remaining peaceful. Here, if this is the new person that they're wanting to put in, there's big trouble for them there too. See the betrayal that's being delivered, and then this would be the new person, the younger fella. Okay, that's beneath him in a supporting role. Does that make sense? He's got problems too.
Because if you look at social media,
I just said it's not Space Force, and I just said it's not SpaceX. It's a military branch. Okay, what did you say, Jen?
If you watch, social media at all, it's hysterical because every time a Republican votes against Trump's people, they're accused of being rhinos. So if JD Vance, thank you, Uptick, if JD Vance tried to take Trump out for whatever reasons, they'd start calling him a rhino because that's their guy. They don't care if he's crazy.
Yeah.
They don't care if he's sick. That's their guy.
But if this is the new person that they want in here, no, there's a big, huge problem with it. Big, huge problem. Eventually everything clears up, but it's like, it's going to take a minute. But this is the main thing. They're scheming behind his back on how to get him out and do it peacefully.
Like, you know what? Maybe Project 2025 wasn't a great idea. We're all going to be out of jobs because he's dismantling our government.
And not just not them being out of jobs. you're going to make America a third world country. Well, fuck it.
Yeah,
A 10th
you're going to
world
crash
country.
the economy.
You're going to crash the economy. Everybody's going to be sick and dying. The only people that are going to be happy is the oligarchs kicking, eating away at what's left of the freaking carcass of what was America. And then what? Because that right there is not sustainable. When the entire population is too poor and too sick to purchase your product, the economy becomes stagnant. You can't afford to have internet. You can't afford to heat your home. You can't afford to have water. You can't afford to make your mortgage payment. And what happens when the economy goes to shit? Crime goes up. Crime goes up. And guess what? You have an entire country full of people that have more guns than there are people. So do not be surprised when those weapons get turned against you. Okay?
When you saw what happened in 2008 when the market crashed under Bush, it took Obama 8 years to get it turned around. I mean, it took a good 3 or 4 years, like his first term, to get things going. It took a full 8 years before we really saw our economy come back, only to hand it over to Trump to trash it.
In less than 4 years. In less than 4 years, he trashed it.
So everything these oligarchs are selling, guess what? If I don't have income coming in, I can't afford my mortgage payment, and I can't afford food on my table, guess what? I don't need your internet. I don't need your Amazon delivery. I don't need anything you're selling, guys. I don't need it.
So
I'm getting a gun and going hunting and planting a garden to try to survive.
So this entire thing is not sustainable. And then there's JD Vance going on television or giving his speech or whatever that we need to have more babies. So you want women to get pregnant and have more babies. No, now let's make it clear. You don't want brown babies. You want them white babies. Okay? You forgot the part about women no longer having bodily autonomy when you're done. So what happens to a woman when she has a complication to her pregnancy? That's the fine print right there. We want you to have more babies. And if anything happens, well, tough shit. That's God's will. Enjoy dying a painful death.
He forgot he was married to a brown wife too.
That's the hypocrisy of it, Jen. Do as I say and not as I do. Okay? Like that's just, they're completely anti-immigrant, yet all of them have immigrant wives, or at least the vast majority of them. It's not about immigration, it's about money and control and who gets the bigger slice of the pie.
Money, control, and immigrants from countries they deem okay to have immigrants from.
Yeah. So, this whole have more babies, that would be great if women had access to freaking the healthcare that they needed. So if anything were to happen, they wouldn't have to be worried about fucking dying of sepsis or bringing a child to term that they know is going to die, just to sit there and watch and hold that newborn child, just waiting for it to die in your arms. That's the part they're not telling you. So I'm just saying, dude, I'm all in for the neuter scooter. I'm going to get me a pink bus, write neuter scooter on it, and just start snatching up men. Snip, snip.
Your little guillotine you were going to get.
Mm-hmm. So, but that's basically all I got for tonight. So,
somewhere, I can't remember where it was, somebody presented legislation to make conception start at erection.
Yeah. And if anybody gets caught, disposing of any genetic fluids, I'm like, good, we're finally going after them. I mean, is it a ridiculous law? Yes, because how are you going to enforce it? How are you going to know if somebody's jacking off in their bathroom? But at least the conversation.
No more blowjobs, they're illegal.
At least the conversation is being had. That it's not just a woman's burden to carry. It takes two. Women don't just run around getting pregnant, because they have nothing else better to do, you know?
Well, and they basically, in that executive order, basically made the entire country women.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because they were saying that
the main cell at inception.
At inception, when we're all zygotes, or however you pronounce it.
Yeah.
So we're all
Always
female.
The female
so
leg.
the entire planet is full of transgenders. I mean, these people are so fucking stupid. This is what happens when you deny science and go read a book of fairy tales and witchcraft and think that that's how the world
try to repaint history. It's like, history is to learn from, so you don't repeat it. These people failed history 101.
These people failed humanity 101. I'm telling you, it's just fucking sad. I read that and I was like, did Lauren Boebert write this? I mean, that it was so stupid. It was like, this is something Lauren Boebert would write, or another idiot like Marjorie Taylor Greene, So anyways, but thank you all so much for hanging out tonight. I hope you guys have a good week. Check your local libraries for those book recommendations from earlier. Keep in mind that 2 of them are fiction, but they are thought-provoking, so give that a go. And we will see you next week on Jenny's channel.
Thank you, Creative Vision, Mary Jo, On, Orchid Lily, Rose, Kathy, Patty, and Uptick, because I feel like I missed some of the super chats as they were coming through.
Yeah, thank you everybody so much. Stay safe. This is temporary. There ain't no way that
I will continue to eat my shoe. I apologize if I got anybody's hopes up too much, but I got to go with what the cards say. And if they keep saying Kamala's getting in, I'm sticking to my guns. But in the meantime, I'll eat my shoe.
Thank you, everybody. Yeah, we'll see you next week on Auntie Lynn's channel. Peace out. Have a good one. Stay safe, everybody. Stay safe. Bye.